Hi, everybody. This is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology, and these are your Sun and Rising sign horoscopes for August of 2019. So this is the Sun and Rising sign horoscope for Scorpios, and we're going to go ahead and start by taking a look at the new moon, which happened on July 31st, but is important to look at because it's really toning the entire month for Scorpios and for everyone. This new moon happened in your 10th house on July 31st. With some pretty intense squares from both the new moon and Venus taking place to the planet Uranus in Taurus in your 7th house. So let's take a look at that dynamic to start with. First of all, a new moon in your 10th house generally means that there are new developments happening at work or in relation to your professional life. There's a new job, there's a new promotion, there's a new boss, there's something, a new project. It could be even really minor, but something new is developing, generally speaking, around work or life direction, life purpose, sense of life calling. Now, as that's happening, it may also be happening in relationship to Uranus in the 7th, which would mean that there could simultaneously be some disruptions or unexpected events in relationships that are a part of these changes. So that's kind of what the new moon is indicating here. Now, Venus square Uranus in general can also mean that there are, there's a need for greater independence or freedom. It's a bit of a provocative energy. You want to be careful of getting into theatrics or drama at work or in your relationships, as it could affect your work life. But otherwise, experimentation and kind of, being Scorpios often are not the most demonstrative personalities externally, like a Leo. So this could also be people in the workplace might annoy you a little bit more this month, or there might be cause or reason to become a little bit more demonstrative or to really show your cards a little bit more and trust that people are actually going to like you this month and what you're doing. You don't have to be too protective or defensive or sort of paranoid about what other people think. That's, generally good news for anyone, right? But when we get to August 6th to the 8th, then you're getting through Venus. You're going through Venus and the sun moving into trines with Jupiter in your 2nd house. The 2nd house of finances and income, this has the potential to be pretty positive around finances and money. Maybe some expenses coming up. Jupiter's turning direct on about the 11th. And so this is a moment where, you could see this some kind of positive turn of events around finances. If they've been difficult over the summer and spring, something's turning around here, or just some moment of promotion or growth at work, or some positive opportunity in business, or some kind of increased responsibility or recognition even. So that's a positive little transit. It could also just mean positive social connections coming that are beneficial and spending a little money on something that you enjoy or like, but be careful of going to extremes with Jupiter, obviously. Now, when you get to the 11th, basically what's happening at this point is the Sun and Venus are going through a conjunction with one another, and that means that Venus is going to be Cazimi. Cazimi at the heart of the Sun, Venus is greatly empowered. In your career house right now, that's a positive. You got the career house ruler in its own sign with Venus greatly empowered in the sign of the sun, at the heart of the sun. That usually will translate into positive, beneficial exchanges and harmonious relationships with others in the workplace. A boss taking notice of you, getting along with coworkers, being noticed and recognized and appreciated for something, and possibly gaining from it. Some kind of empowered position or voice or authority or greater sense of knowledge or confidence that you're developing. But it's a pretty empowered moment in the workplace again. And then you're seeing Venus as the ruler of love and relationships again, with Uranus, meanwhile, back in the 7th house, maybe also suggesting that there's some way in which you're stepping forward or stepping out socially right now, and you may need a little bit more freedom or a little bit more independence. So don't be surprised if you need a little space, or if you're feeling, the need to break free somehow or be a little bit more independent. Now, when you get up to the 15th, then there's a full moon happening in your fourth house. And that's the house of home and family, property, land, parents. A little bit of tension then happening between the fourth house and the needs or demands or restraints or challenges or just whatever's happening in the fourth house and whatever it's demanding of you. This is a full moon that's ruled by Saturn, and the workplace. And so there's a little bit of a tension emerging between work and home right around the full moon. You might feel that. Then we're going forward to about the 18th through the end of the month. It just becomes, it's just like a Virgo bomb. I've said that, like saying that in my horoscopes this month, because it's just totally true. Look at from the 18th, Mars goes in, then on the 21st or so, you got Venus popping in, and then the Sun goes into Virgo, and then on the 29th, Mercury goes into Virgo, and then on the 30th, you've got a new moon in Virgo. Huge amount of emphasis placed on the 11th house from the 18th through the end of the month, and that new moon on August 30th, excuse me, will tone the entire month of September as well. So what is the 11th house? Place of allies, friends, groups, benefactors. So you're looking at a real emphasis on that dimension of your life, whether it's your social life or your professional life or religious or spiritual communities. There's an emphasis on the people you know and who you associate with, and changes happening in that place, growth happening in that place, development. The question might be about boundaries with some opposition to Neptune in the fifth house. And it may also be about, the typical Virgo Pisces divide, which may have more to do with, say, 11th house Virgo, your practical allies. These are the people that, are going to help you in life in a way that is mostly about productivity and doing things with care, attention to detail, people that are going to share, you're going to have common bonds with mentally, intellectually. And then the opposition to Neptune, which is more spiritual, imaginative, artistic, romantic. And so how does that kind of more intuitive, imaginative dimension fit into what looks like a big powerhouse of practicality and productivity and sort of earthiness in the 11th house of groups and friends? Balancing that dynamic around that time could be a little tricky. But overall, this major emphasis on Virgo in the 11th should be about, beneficial social dynamics and a period of productivity and practicality that is helping you move forward. And again, this stellium in Virgo is also square to Jupiter in the second house. It is, at the end of the day, people and beneficial connections that might be related to business, work, or money as well. So I like the end of the month for you, Scorpios. Tell me how things go. I'd love to hear from you guys and just hear how everything goes as the month goes on. And I will look forward to connecting with you again in September. Okay, take care.